Osaka is the second largest city in Japan. It is an economic powerhouse in itself. It dominates the Kansai region, and it has a gubernatorial and a mayoral election coming up on November 22nd, just very soon. What do you think about what's going on in Osaka?
It's hard to know. Osakans are so different from Tokyo people, and I've been surrounded by Tokyo people for the last 20 years. They really are much more divided than you could say, let's say, the equivalent would be New York and Chicago. The differences are huge. Are huge.
A little bit more rambunctious. The food there is a lot more flavorful. All of the comedians come from Osaka.
And a lot of good things and a lot of bad things come from Osaka. But nevertheless, it's its own culture, and it's been denied nationally. The Osaka Kansai area is the only area of Japan which has not produced a prime minister in the post-war era. And it's just a peculiar situation. Osaka has just been off the radar.
The rivalry between the two cities has gone on for centuries.
And it's gone on for centuries, and we have so many Osaka incidents in Japanese history having to do with getting rid of whoever is in charge of Osaka. Now, with that as a background, we have the rise in Osaka of this party and this individual. The individual is Hashimoto Toru, a man from the wrong side of the tracks in every way, who has Osaka pride all
over himself.
All over him.
He's a lawyer, father of 5 kids?
7.
7 kids?
He was busy. Anyway, he is the force behind these elections. He and his constantly evolving movement of Kansai first thought, which he calls Ishin, to associate it with the Meiji Restoration. He's called his various parties, various flavors of Ishin. Now we have Osaka Ishin, that's going to be running 2 candidates to do one thing, which is to rival Tokyo. The whole plan that is being tested in this election is to transform Osaka from a prefecture with cities in it, one of which is named Osaka, and that's where the mayoral election is happening, which is the cause of some confusion maybe overseas, that this prefecture will become a metropolitan district.
Like Tokyo.
Like Tokyo.
Right.
Now, try as one might, I have never understood anything except the pride issue here. I have no idea how this saves any money, how this makes the Osaka run better, but for some reason, it's something they want to do. Whether it's just to change the stationery, I don't know. But nevertheless, fighting this move is very interestingly the Osaka Liberal Democratic Party. Their branch is running its own candidate. And that candidate, at least in both elections, the candidate in the mayoral election is supported by all other parties except Ishin, which means that the communists are supporting an LDP candidate. That's how bitter this battle is over this issue of pride alone. That it's an amazing story for those who are interested in thinking that politics has some purpose. Here it seems purposeless. It's just about aggrandizing oneself and arrogance almost.
Well, I think it is. It's not quite a power grab, but I think it is this drive for Osakans to reestablish themselves. I mean, it's a huge magnet, and they've got an international airport. The capital was once there. I mean, the Osaka Castle is massive. I mean, walking through there, it just inspires you.
Well, yes, it's a 1965 reconstruction. The original castle was burnt to the ground by people coming from Edo, Tokyo. They made sure that would never come back again, at least not until it's necessary to come back to attract tourists. This rivalry, which generates the energy for this party, it's really going to hurt the DPJ in the upcoming election, because this regional party will take so many of the votes in this particularly populous area that it's just like having the heart cut out of the body of Japan in terms of the opposition. There will be one area that will be dominated by this upstart regionalist party. And whereas the LDP has national breadth, the DPJ opposition will have to just simply start from the north in Hokkaido, go through Tokyo, and then skirt around Osaka and then try its luck in the south, it's going to make it all the harder for there to be a viable opposition force to the current LDP dominance.
Isshin Noto, the political party that was run and cobbled together by Hashimoto, was going great guns, and
they got 12 million votes in the 2012 election. Mr. Abe's LDP got 18 million. The next down was not the DPJ, the government party at that time. The number 2 party was this JIP, Japan Innovation Party. They got 12 million votes. The DPJ got only 8 million nationally. It was the force that was coming on.
He resigned to take responsibility for not being able to consolidate the Osaka city government into a metropolitan conglomerate.
Yeah, that was after the party itself on a national scale blew apart and reconsolidated, and then he concentrated back on Osaka, and he missed on the referendum by 10,000 votes.
Right.
And he quit.
So one has to wonder what's going on. They had a party also in Tokyo, and there's been a fight there over the last 8 months, and now these are separate parties running different programs.
Yeah, but the thing is that the party in Tokyo, and we're getting inside baseball, but the party in Tokyo has the seal. You know that everything is registered here, and you have a registered signature, and it's a seal that makes things official.
Right.
The Tokyo branch has, in some safe somewhere, the seal for the party. So the party cannot officially break apart until they get the stamp
Well, they have the intellectual property for the use of that name.
That's right. Well, the rest of that name, but the party itself, the money that was given to it by the government, whoever has that seal has complete control of it until they submit a document saying this party has been broken up. And that's another fight. That's not going to necessarily affect the Osaka election unless, of course, Hashimoto, who is, if you want to really clog up your Twitter feed, follow him, because he just goes on and on and on and on. He's slowed down a little bit, but 2 or 3 years ago, he would have 64 entry Twitter tweets, just bing, 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 64 in a row, just going on and on, whatever he was thinking about right now.
He is a force to contend with, and he's using social media. He is at the vanguard. He's attracting a lot of attention. He's young. He's vibrant. He is the pure person from Osaka.
Yeah, but the thing is that party, it tried national politics. It did very well, but the internal dynamics, basically having to do with his personality, have brought it down back to this original core area of Osaka and its original core issue, which is making Osaka into a metropolitan.
Okay, so let's talk about the gubernatorial election that's going to happen in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
It's in November 22nd. We're going to have an election for Osaka Prefecture and for Osaka City. The two parts that you need in order to make for the consolidation. Now, there's another major city inside Osaka Prefecture called Sakai, which is dominated by the LDP.
And dominated by the international airport that has the land bridge that goes right into Sakai.
Yeah, they're never going to get Sakai to agree to the consolidation plan. So there's a certain amount of theatricality. But what makes the whole story more interesting is that Mr. Abe has been a huge supporter of Mr. Hashimoto. So much so that the Osaka LDP branch, their chapter, absolutely hates Mr. Abe. They say, you have abandoned us with your courtship of this man. And the courtship has been mutual. When Hashimoto set up the JIP, it was before the LDP presidential election of 2012, he actually went to Abe and asked him to be president of his party that he was making. So these two have been going on.
It's a nice kowtow.
These two have been going back and forth. Mr. Abe eventually got a much nicer presidential suite than the one that was being offered, but it was offered. So that these two have been going on, and the Osaka LDP, the actual members of the LDP in Osaka have been stiffed. That's one of the few areas of Japan where Mr. Abe's writ does not extend.
Right. It's not necessarily the case that the mayoral election occurs at the same time as the governor's election, and they were able to orchestrate it so that they both occur at the same time. The strategy here, apparently, is if, for example, Ishin no To can win the mayor's seat and also the governor's seat, then, once again, with renewed vigor, let's move back to consolidating.
A referendum, on the consolidation. And for those who are being technical, they're calling themselves, for this election, Osaka Ishin. With Osaka written in katakana. Mm-hmm. They're not even using the kanji. So in order to get around all the detritus from the party that has exploded in Tokyo, they're talking Osaka Ishin, Osaka renovation. That's all we're about anymore.
What do you think, Michael? Are you prepared to make any kind of a prediction?
No, but he's had a lot of success there. And let's face it, Osaka is a different world.
Okay, so what kind of impact will that have on national politics here in Tokyo, or perhaps even the election for upper house coming in this summer?
Well, it's like I said, it may, if you have a powerful regionalist party, it makes it very hard for the opposition to put up its numbers, because it's going to have to deal with this set of individuals who are actually, with Mr. Hashimoto close to Abe, in fact, this core group, which is very loyal to Mr. Hashimoto, they represent basically a flavor of, or a faction of the LDP that's outside the LDP. And when issues come up like, let's say, constitutional revision, you can look to people who are with this Osaka Ishin to side with the national government. So that's where I see what the effect is.
So is it fair to say that if I were to ask you for a prediction, you'd have to answer that you're basically groping in the dark?
Do we have to use that word?